This is the Pocket Monster Manual. Its steps are staggering and unsteady, but it thinks it's walking in a straight line, Willie Chandler. Herewith, it loves the crying of children, it startles bad kids by passing through walls and making them cry, Animage.
Thank you very much.
For some reason, it likes to land on people's heads softly and act like a hat, Bram.
Yeah!
It eats up emotions like malice, jealousy, and resentment, so some people are grateful for its presence, MD.
That's so fucking spot on.
Hello, thank you.
It emits a variety of sounds from holes all over its body and can be heard from over 6 miles away, Moogle.
Holy shit! That's one of the fucking sounds, alright.
How did he do that?
I'm so glad that I don't have a sore throat anymore.
Google has a quota where he can only do that like once every 3 weeks.
Its entire body is covered by a slippery, slimy film and it is often mistaken for a human child, Shining.
Yeah.
And if it's in a pinch, it will secrete a sweet liquid from the tip of its head. Syrup made from gathering the liquid is tasty on bread, Specs.
You didn't specify which head?
The second one, he does
He
it.
does it.
Yeah, he does it.
And we're talking about Pokemon Gen 3.
So Gen 3 is the reboot gen, right?
What?
No,
It's the
yeah,
reboot.
I
That's
think
Gen
that's
5.
5
is
no,
more of
that's-
the reboot than 3.
This was a reboot mechanically. Like, it's
Yes.
the biggest jump from the
Yeah.
the gen prior, and also
It's the
you
biggest
can't
change
transfer
out
anything
of
up.
3 things where 2 of them are basically the same. So
I feel like they started Gen 3 trying to reboot things, but then they lost like the will to do it halfway through. So you get like this kind of halfway house in comparison with like 5, which was an actual reboot.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, there's loads of extra Pokemon here.
It feels like they just bottled it at the last minute and went, oh, okay, we've not quite got enough Pokemon for this, or like we just don't really feel like it, so let's introduce all the others again.
They had plenty. That was definitely not the issue. 135 is plenty.
Yeah, like they were only like 20 short of like, you
Oh, that's
know,
true,
Gen
actually.
1.
Yeah.
I think they just kind of copped out. I think they realized, uh-oh, we have nothing to rely on as far as sales when we have a totally new thing. And that, like, it was an established, like, franchise, but it wasn't what it is today. They could get away with it today. They could not get away with it back then.
I wonder if it's because they'd planned the remakes of Gen 1 in the background, and were like, well, we've got all these Pokemon ready for it, let's do it.
no, they had a long while yet to come back before the remakes.
That's
I wonder
true.
if this is why you can't trade Pokemon from Gen 1 and 2, because they were like, well, we're rebooting anyway, like, we don't want anything from Gen 1 and 2, and then they were like, oh, we don't have time to add that back in now that we've decided, oh, we do want those old Pokemon in.
Would there even be a way of doing that?
Didn't they change the base mechanics anyway?
You could just adjust the stats, right?
No, not talking mechanically, I'm talking about like hardware.
There's
Mm.
GBA and Game Boy Color games that can interact. Like,
Yeah.
it's not unheard of.
Oh, really?
I feel like it might be just because they changed the mechanics like to such an
Yeah.
extent. Like DVs, no, is it DVs that went away and EVs
Yes,
that
EVs
came
are
in?
replaced with IVs.
Yeah,
and EVs
IVs
were
that's the one.
changed.
DVs and IVs, that's it.
There was a bunch of like hidden things behind the scenes that got changed in the game too. And
Yeah.
knowing what we know about Game Freak now, they probably didn't have the people to figure it out. So
Yeah, probably. they didn't let Iwata consult, so like it was just okay. Well, we can't figure this out.
Yeah, Gen 3 like set the foundation mechanically for Pokemon that is still used today. It's kind of wild to think about.
Mhm.
What in terms of like post game and stuff like that?
No, I mean like the way Pokemon are calculated, like IVs
Oh, I
and
see,
natures
yeah.
and abilities all have like not changed at all, more or less.
Yeah,
EVs
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, EVs, like, when did they make the EV change? Was it Gen 2 or Gen 3?
It is
where
this
you
one,
couldn't just,
Gen
it
3.
was this one specifically, yeah. So that's the other reason why they wouldn't let you transfer anything, because they would have been fucking broken. Like, they would have just had extra fucking EVs on every stat.
Well, they could have just recalculated, I guess, but yeah.
Like, how would you like, calculate which one took priority, though?
I
Because
don't
in
know.
Gen
I mean,
2,
you can
you had
transfer
maximum
now.
EVs on
These
everything,
days,
right?
You can transfer from Gen 1 to Gen 6 through, like,
Yeah.
Pokemon Bank, so I don't know how they do the EV stuff these days.
Oh, that's true now, actually. I mean, I guess that's
They found a way eventually.
I bet when you transfer them to Pokemon Bank, it like rewrites the Pokemon entirely and gives
Yeah.
it like a base stat to be transferred into the earlier gens. That's
Yeah.
why there's that middleman.
And maybe it erases all the EVs as well, so that you have to start the EVs from scratch or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably that. Probably
Yeah.
just resets it all.
So you get to make a choice, I guess.
Abilities are a great new addition. I hate natures though.
I like natures a lot.
I've never got into. I don't really know. I know they do something, but I don't care.
I'm gonna pull the curtain back on natures. They don't matter in game. They really
Oh,
don't.
nice. Good.
No, yeah.
They increase his stat by 10% and lower his stat by 10%. It's not like major. There sure was no way of knowing which one it would do, though.
It only becomes major when you start caring.
It adds nice flavor, I think, to Pokemon.
Just a little something extra to read in their Pokedex, really, isn't it?
I like getting Zubats that like to run. It was always a nice touch.
I like the way that if you want a Pokemon with a particular personality, you can also like grind for it and like just try and catch one of those. Like if you want a Pokemon that's like relaxed, like because you like the idea of it, it's got flavor to it rather than just being a stat bonus and a stat like nerf. You can
Yeah.
It has a personality aspect to it.
In a game for, like, maybe it's just because I've never really gone too in depth in Pokemon, but in a game for kids, like, it's something I didn't even really know what it did at the time. Like,
Me
it's
neither.
something that,
Yeah.
you know, I wouldn't go grinding to get like the perfect nature on a Pokemon. Maybe an ability I can understand, but a nature, I'd be like, man, that's too in depth. I feel like that's for the 1% of people who really care about competitive stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even need to care about competitive, I guess, but...
I picked up like competitive play probably like 3 or 4 years after whenever like Showdown came out. I started picking it up a little bit, and then I started learning. So it's filtered through ever since for me, where I will try actively to get a good nature on a Pokemon, but it really doesn't matter considering the way they make the games these days anyway. So
Yeah. Like, I definitely didn't realize what natures did as a kid, because it wasn't until it wasn't until Heart Gold, Soul Silver where it actually shows you on the stat screen, like, oh, this stat is higher and the other stat is lower, so I would just see like, oh, he's relaxed. I'm like, oh, I guess that's just like he's a chill guy.
I tell you the most important part about natures is, and it's making the puffins.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's the most important because they
Puffins.
have certain flavors that they like and certain flavors they don't like based on their nature.
Little fussy babies.
Yeah. And that's the most important part of these games.
I love contests.
Contest is an interesting one because they never really came back. They came back in the remakes, right? For Gen 3?
Gen 4 also.
They in Gen 4 as well? Okay.
Very sad loss contest because it's the stupidest thing.
I wish they implemented them more in a way that made them like an alternate path to beating
Yeah.
the game, because it would have been
Yeah.
really cool
Yeah.
to like go around and make like a bunch of pretty bitches and put them in contests and make them do things.
I feel like they kind of maybe wanted to, but couldn't figure out a way to like make that work without it kind of breaking the game almost. Like, you know, because you'd obviously still have to fight to be able to go later in the game. It's almost like they had the intent of like, you know, the newest game's shite, but their intent is that you can do like different things, like can be your goal. So it's like maybe they had that intention, but just didn't quite know how to fulfill it, much like they didn't know how to fulfill it in the recent game.
Yeah, like it'd be cool if there was like a contest gym in every city as well, but at the end of the day, the routes are still also all battles, unless you
Yeah.
wanted to change those all to also be contests, which doesn't really I feel that might get pretty old.
I think the easy way is that contests give you EXP in the same way that a gym does.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, and after that, when you're in like a battle and having to get rid of it, like the way the moves work in contests work so much differently than in battles, where like bad moves are good sometimes and vice versa. So having that to deal with that sounds really annoying to deal with in the overworld.
You need like a separate team.
Yeah. But I like that though.
It gives a new dynamic that's not been seen before, and like it expands on the world of Pokemon to say Pokemon aren't just for battling, we also do other things with them. And then you get more of that further on, like in Gen 5 you get those it's very similar to the contest, but it's like a movie shoot thing in Hollywood sort of thing. What did you have in Gen 4? Did they just continue with competitions?
Super contests. They weren't as good, though.
So it's nice to see that they're trying to do something else that's like, here's other things Pokemon can do, not just battle.
They never commit, though, which I think is the problem.
That's the problem, right? Is that they always feel like a side thing, and on top of that, there's not really like a huge incentive to do them. Like, what do you get for doing the contest? You don't get money, I don't think.
You get something on your trainer card, don't
Yeah,
you?
enrichment. Right?
You get your Pokemon
ribbons.
painted in an art gallery. That's permanent.
Yeah, and you get enrichment as a human being.
Yeah, right.
You know, sometimes
fuck
it's
wants
about
that?
the journey and not the destination.
No, give me that destination.
Meg would be able to tell you that.
Speaking of journey, though, I love the way this region is laid out.
Yes.
I fucking love Hoenn so much.
I don't think any region has quite captured that sense of adventure quite
Literally.
like Hoenn.
I feel like I say this once a month at minimum. Like, Hoenn feels like the most adventure any Pokemon game has ever felt. Like, it feels like a real place where I'm going through the wilderness and I'm running through this fucking rain, like by the weather station. Like, I'm actually outside in a world going places where no other Pokemon game for me has had the same extent of that feeling as Hoenn has.
I don't think it feels like a real place, but I think that's why it feels
More
like an
so than
adventure.
any of the others have, to me.
I think Kanto feels more like a real place than Hoenn.
Sinnoh hits it for me personally, but I think Hoenn hits it a little better.
I think the progression is really good in Hoenn. It's not as open as Red and Blue, but it's not as linear as the others.
Yeah,
there's a lot of optional side areas.
Yeah, you have a few solid gates, like Rock Smash, the desert, and then beating Norman to get Surf.
Yeah.
And the fact that it loops back on itself is like the way the region's designs.
Yeah, by the volcano. I really enjoy it.
I like all the towns. All the towns are very unique, laid out. It's cool. They're all thematic.
There's just a lot of different like environmental like aspects to it as well. Like you said, there is the desert, there's the volcano, there's the little tiny ash town, there's like diving under the sea. Like, there's so many different ways to kind of be in Hoenn that it just feels like there's so much more depth to it as a place.
You can be on top of the water, you can be under the water, you can be next to the water, you can
he's
see
making a
yourself
joke.
in the water.
Wow, a unique joke that no one has ever said before. Well done,
Whoa,
Spec.
water in it.
Yeah, I'm quite original, aren't I?
Alright, if you had to live in one of the towns in this region, what would you pick and why is it Sutopolis?
I would not live in Sutopolis.
I would absolutely live in Sutopolis because I would never have to see anybody.
Probably Fortree. I always thought Fortree was really cool.
Fortree is really
good.
cool.
Fortree's
But like, can
good.
you imagine the bugs?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're all Pokemon, so they're all friends.
Sutopolis feels so easy to brag about. You'd be like at the Poke Center, like talking to people, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm from like Little Root. I'm from like Vernon Turf." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm from like a crater where a meteor hit, and you have to like go underwater to get in." Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sounds like a pain to leave though.
Is Fortree the one with all the why can't I remember his name? Chameleon guy.
Kecleon.
Kecleon.
Chameleos.
Kecleon, thank you. Like, that's the one with all them there, isn't it? There won't be any bugs there at all. They'll all be eaten.
If you're from Sutopolis, wouldn't you just smell like sulfur forever, no matter where you went?
What's new? And it's why I would stay there, because I would fit in.
I don't know if you would smell like it anymore though, because it's like that happened ages ago. It's not a volcano; it's a meteor crash.
If anybody's gonna smell like sulfur, it's a person from Flannery's town, Lava Ridge.
Oh yeah, Lava Ridge.
It's the tiny town next to the soot route.
Lava Ridge with the
No, not Lava Ridge.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Fall
I'm sure. Fall Arbor, yeah.
Oh, that was the fucking Dust Bowl town.
Yeah. That's the one where you'd smell like soot.
I'd live in whatever the one that looks like Santorini is called. The one with the H gym. Water gym.
That's
Sutopolis.
Yes.
That's the one. Okay, I thought Sutopolis was Fall Arbor. Never mind.
That makes sense because it has soot in the name, yeah.
Yeah.
Apollos.
I didn't play enough of the games to know which towns were good. There's one where you're like, there's a load of tree houses, right?
That's 4 tree, yeah.
Yeah, that looked fun when I saw my sister playing that, yeah.
I think I'd be Lily Cove because I like the beach.
Lily Cove was nice.
Where would you have your secret base though?
I know where my secret base is. Let me find the route that mine's on.
It was in a really hard to get to place.
Mine was always in the side of Meteor Falls.
Do you know the really long jungle route before Fort Tree?
Yeah, that's where I had mine. One of the best.
There's like you have to go up a waterfall and then acrobike. And there's a secret base spot there, and that's where mine was.
Could you do anything with the secret bases, or was it just to decorate them and then never look at them again?
So Gen 3 had this mechanic called like trading records, where like if you link up with somebody, you could do a battle or you could do a trade, but you could also link your records, which would basically mix certain game data. So, for example, you could go to somebody's secret base because you traded records with them. You can explore it. I don't know if you could battle it in Gen 3. You can in the remakes. There's also other effects. The weird guy in Mauville City will change to the other person. I think Mirage Island might get affected. Things like that.
I think you get the same Mirage Island if you sync records. But when I was a kid, the only people I would really play Pokemon was my cousins in Malta, and so the summer we would play like Gen 3 the whole summer, and then we'd mix records, and I would have their secret bases, and I would like battle against them throughout like the year until we visited again.
I found my secret base. So mine was always on Route 120. It's in the bottom left of Route 120, and there's a pool of still water, and there's a little bush above it, like one of the little grass heaps right above it, and there's a berry planting patch next door to it. That's where mine always was. It's so cute because it's like you got your little garden, you got your little lake in front of your house. It's very, very cute.
It is nice that they consistently added like reasons to trade or interact with other people throughout the series. Like in the first gen, it was just trading and battling, and then they added like I can't remember what it was called, like the Battle House, I think it was in Viridian, I think it is, wherever it is in Gen 2. And then they added like secret bases and like records and like I can't remember what it's called, the popularity tuner or something like that. I don't remember. Like
this is like kind of unrelated, but it reminded me of the trendy phrase guy in
yes, trendy phrase.
I think that also gets synced with your records.
When I learned what it could do, I just made it adult toys because I thought it would be funny.
Adult anime. Everyone's talking about adult anime these days.
What's that all
Across
about?
the sea, is adult anime even more popular?
They'll tell you about when you record mix, the television shows will tell you about the other players, like if they bought something recently on the Smart Shopper app and things. There is a random old guy at the Mobile Pokemon Center that will be based on your ID, and if you trade with other people or you sync records with them, one of their old guys will show up at your Pokemon Center. This is probably someone you never even talk to, so like nobody will probably like remember this. There is changes to the storyteller. He will tell different stories depending on if you've mixed records. The fan club Pokemon trainers will start start praising different people if you've synced records with them. Syncing records will determine which 6 water tiles Feebas can appear on in Route 119.
Oh, good. Feebas.
Now that could really mess you up, I suppose, if you knew what it was for your game and then you trade it for someone else's.
Is that the stupidest way to have to get a Pokemon? Was that the dumbest thing? I think it might be.
They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing when they did that.
I mean, it's no better or worse than Heracross being on specific trees you have to headbutt. Spiritomb.
I think it is, because,
Munchlax is the
it's
worst.
6 tiles.
Gen 4 Munchlax is the worst.
I forgot about that.
How was that one again?
Still.
It's a 1% chance on 2 random trees, and the trees are randomized, for your save.
Fucking hell.
Nice.
The term wasn't, it was annoying, but you kind of could figure it out.
I just remember there's a fucking trick house in Hoenn as well.
Yeah, Trick House.
There's just so much cool shit in this region. There's so much.
Yeah, it's very dense.
The whole...
There's the abandoned ship as well.
That's Jetball. No, I'm thinking of something else.
No, there's an abandoned ship in...
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, it's a abandoned ship, yeah. New Mall? Not New Mallville.
Smallville.
Seamallville, right?
I'm on a Seymourville die.
Yeah, Seamallville. No, New Marvel is New Marvel. That's another dungeon. Oh my god.
That's a
So
power
many
plant.
fucking places.
Oh
on this.
yeah,
That's a power plant we have to go to.
Watson just chilling in the middle of Mauville, being like, "Hey, go to New Mauville for me, please."
There's cool stuff to collect along the way as well, right? Because you've got if you comb the beach, you can collect what are they like? They're like heart shards or something that allow you. I can't remember. That lets you heart scales, yeah, and that lets you relearn moves. That's how you do the move tutor, right? And then I think could you collect soot as well when you're near the volcano, and that did something special.
Yeah, if you run around and then bring it to some person, she makes flutes.
Yeah, glass flutes, isn't it?
Yeah, get the blue flutes. To just get an infinite awakening item.
Yeah. And then there's also the shoal shells and the shoal salts.
Yeah, in the Shoal
Cave. Yeah.
The Shoal Cave was fucking cool as well. The fucking tide going up and down, and it's just such a cool place. And I really liked the Ash place just purely from I can clean all of the grass.
Oh yeah, I've done every fucking tile.
That was quite cathartic. Did this game get rid of day-night cycle?
Yes, unfortunately it did. That's the only problem.
It didn't have an internal clock.
That's weird. Why?
It had an internal clock, and it even mattered. I believe evolving Wurmple would be different by day or night.
No, it's totally random.
I see.
Wurmple is based on a
so
randomized
if you trade an Eevee into
you...
this game, you can't get Espeon or Umbreon.
But it must have had some kind of internal clock going on, because how did the Shoal Cave work?
There's definitely a clock.
It makes you set the clock.
It's not used for day-night for some reason. It's only used for the tides.
So weird.
It's really weird. There's no seasonal changes in this one either, is there? They just got rid of anything to do with that.
Seasons are just in Gen 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird what they cut and what they put in. Anyone want to talk about Braille?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
No, you can't say Braille, dummy.
There's not a lot to really say about it. I just think it's a cool inclusion of something else that doesn't have to be there, that makes you go out of your way to learn what's going on. Because it could have been anything. It didn't have to be Braille. They could have had some kind of library with a book in it that's got a translation to something else, and you have to write down what the letters look like and converse it that way. It's just a cool little thing they decided to do, and I just think it's fucking cool.
They had the actual Braille in Fire Red Leaf Green, right? I remember writing them down from the game at some point.
No,
in Sevi Islands?
It's not in Sevi Islands. Well, maybe there might be some, but in what is the place called? The Undersea Cave, wherever you go to unlock the Reggies in the first place, there's a Braille cipher you can use. But there's also, I think there was one in the instruction manual.
It is in the instruction manual. I remember using that, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. I don't know if they do they tell you it's Braille? Do they say this is what blind
No, I don't think they
people
ever
use to
specifically
read?
mention it's Braille.
I think they
That's a
probably
shame.
do call it Braille. They just don't say what Braille is and why Braille exists in the instruction manual. Should we see if we can find the instruction manual online? Let's have a look.
That would be cool to find, yeah. I feel like they probably just, I would guess they just refer to it as like an ancient language or something. Or I guess no, because the
Yeah.
ancient language of the Pokemon world is just unknowns, right?
Maybe it's different
could
in
be
different
more.
regions.
It's a different region, yeah.
So I found the instruction guide. They do have at the back after the notes bit hints for full enjoyment of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. They explain that you might see dots that you don't understand. It's Braille. And there's a little statement from the European Blind Union as well. So it does actually
cool.
reference to it, and then it's got the Braille guide on the next page.
Do you think this was different in Japanese and they used different Braille? Probably not.
I think Braille is, maybe, no, I actually don't know
No,
if Braille
because they
works.
don't use. Yeah, we don't know because they can't be the same because
Yeah.
Japanese doesn't use the same alphabet.
Well, sign language is different for each language, so probably not that different of a concept.
I don't think blind people can use sign language.
They can hold your hands as you do it. I
Yeah,
don't think I'm joking.
that's how blind people use sign language. They do that.
This is cute. When you play Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, you will see and discover many things from the world around you. If you look closely and pay attention, you might even see Braille in your hometown. Just like
That's cute. I like
Wait,
that.
does that mean that I gotta get a Wailord and Relicanth?
Yeah, this game started a trend I really don't like in the games, where it raises the stakes so much that in every single game now there has to be an apocalyptic event with a legendary Pokemon that you have to stop.
I like it. I like it in this game, but I don't like that it became like the standard.
But it sets a precedent.
Yeah.
And then they rise it as high as possible the next game.
You can't go back to just the point of the game is to beat the Elite Four after that. Now every time it's about this world-ending event.
Does this one force you to fight the legendaries, or do you still have a choice?
It forces you to fight it. Doesn't force you to catch it though.
Okay, I mean, still, like, forcing you to fight the legendaries is part of the story. We talked about this in the Gen 2 wrap-up. Like, it's nice that you have to go out of your way to find Lugia and Ho-Oh, and it doesn't take it away from the story. It's like, it's not like everyone's gonna do that, whereas in this, it's like everyone saved the world, and it's just a bit, yeah, it gets cliche in the later games, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind being forced to fight them. At least in this game, I think it works very well in this game. And there's other legends to go up after, so it's not like there's no legendary stuff to do post-game. Just don't like that. Like, this game set the precedent of this is how we have to do things every time from now on. How do we feel about the overall roster of Gen 3, the Pokemon roster?
It's long. It took us forever to get through this gen.
It took us like 2 years.
I like them. I like them a lot.
I think there's a lot of cuties. There's a lot of cute shit. There's a lot of things I like, but I don't know if there's actually a lot of things I would use.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, every time I go back and make a favorites list or something like that, I look at them and I'm like, I don't feel strongly about a lot of them. There's a lot I really, really, really like, but
Yeah, like having immediately said that, I've just scrolled past and seen Burnett's there, so like redacted.
I think the character designs are strong, but the type diversity leaves a lot to be desired. There's a lot of just plain water, plain normal, plain, grass poison.
Yeah. And I think there's also, this feels like there's a lot of filler, too.
For electric types.
I don't know about filler. I think it's partially an issue of this being such a nature focused.
Oh, Barboach is 100% filler Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean there's obviously going to be some, but I think it's partially the issue of it being such a nature kind of focused region is that it makes it a bit difficult to have those kind of dual type things because there's not a lot of reason, aside from obviously Surskit being a fucking water skater, a lot of them there's not a reason necessarily why there would be kind of fusions between two different types of, environmental factors.
it also has the same problem Gen 2 did, where a lot of the new Pokemon just in battle at least suck.
They really do.
No, I mean, it's not nearly as bad as Gen 2 was.
Nose Pass, Roselia.
Alright. I mean, every gen has like a few stinkers, but I feel like Gen 2 is like especially bad.
I think the cool thing about Gen 3 is though they now with abilities they had the opportunity to make some weird stuff happen, like Shedinja and like
That's true.
slacking. And...
Credilli.
What does Credilli do?
It's just a fossil.
Just
I
penis.
don't know what
Just a guy.
Just
Penis.
Just penis.
Gen 1 had fossils too, MD. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, but like, you're a fossil. But I think Credilli's the coolest one to this point, personally.
Yeah,
I like him a
I
lot.
agree.
I like Credilli a
fossil
lot.
wise, yeah. Credilli is
I
cool.
like both of them in this gen, to be honest, I think.
Cast Form and Kecleon.
Yeah.
Chimecho's another bad one, Brandon. Are you sure about that statement?
Chimcho.
I still stand by it.
Chimcho.
I think if I were to try to make like a team to go through Gen 2 with only new Pokemon, I think it'd be hard to find a good team. I don't think I'd have that problem in Ruby Sapphire.
No.
No way.
Nah.
For Alligator,
You got-
Crobat,
Plus Minen.
Puzzle and Mine.
Oh, we haven't really talked about double battles. Double battles still have so much untapped potential where they're just like Teehee, Plusle, and Min buff each other and they're useless otherwise. It's like, no, make them do that on top of something else that's cool. Come on.
I think you should check out VGC because
Yeah.
that's the official double battles, like that's the official Pokemon like way of playing competitive, and it's double battles, and like some of the stuff you see there is insane.
It's interesting because the games never use them in an interesting way, but the official like tournament format absolutely does.
It is still really weird that like doubles, there's like 4 or 5 double battles per Pokemon game, and yet that is like the way it works.
Pachirisu.
Unless you're playing Colosseum, of course, and it's double battles
Oh,
the
yeah,
entire
Yeah,
game.
baby, Colosseum, let's go.
I do love Colosseum.
So there was a really good article that Dr. Lava did about Colosseum, translating an interview with Genius Sonority and explaining why Colosseum came to be. And unfortunately, it's now behind some sort of password, and you can't get into it again. But I'll try and summarize here. So basically, nobody from Genius Sonority had ever worked on a Pokemon game before, and they were asked to make a Pokemon game. I can't remember exactly why their team was asked to do it, but they were like, yep, we can do that. And they basically tried to make like an antithesis to Pokemon. They were like, okay, we know how the Pokemon world works. We want to take something that kind of follows that framework, but is so far removed that it feels like its own thing. And I feel like they did a pretty good job with that. Like, there's no gym progression. Everything's double battle specifically because they wanted it to feel different from a normal Pokemon game. It's got more of like a structured plot where you follow through. You're constantly chasing the bad guys, learning more about the world, like moving on to try and stop whatever catastrophe's going on. You get some really interesting characters introduced, like sort of Mirror B and stuff. And then towards the end, they introduced like, oh, here's a like fight tower where you can do a more typical kind of like rise to the top style thing for Pokemon.
That explains so much. You can't even catch wild Pokemon, the most basic aspect of the original games.
Yeah. In XD you can, but not very often.
That's why I didn't like that game at all. Because you're making a Pokemon game that Pokemon fans do not enjoy, and that's why I didn't like that game at all.
I think there's a lot to enjoy in Colosseum. I like how it's different. It's different, and I appreciate it.
I love it. I loved it as a kid.
I really liked it, yeah.
I loved Colosseum when it was new, but it is really hard to go back to.
I can imagine. It was a very slow game.
They picked the worst possible Pokemon for that game.
Yeah, they picked every awful Gen 2 Pokemon possible as your options.
Hey, fuck you. You get to catch a Tyranitar fucking raw.
Yeah, but he's in the last fight. You're not gonna use him.
It is at the end, and it's worth it.
Well, maybe that's so that you could transfer them to, right?
So the basic premise of Pokemon Colosseum, the first GameCube Pokemon game, is that you play as a renegade who's broken off from Team Snag'em, who have developed technology that lets you steal other people's Pokemon. So throughout the whole game, you are not catching Pokemon in the wild because you live in some awful desert country that's based on Arizona. That's true, that's not a joke. And you steal back the shadow Pokemon from Team Snag'em. So these are Pokemon who have been tortured and made into killing machines. So you have to steal them back and then purify them by repeatedly massaging them with oils. And the way to complete the game is to catch all of these dark Pokemon and sort of massage them until they're friendly. But yeah, because of this, there isn't any regular catching mechanic. And I always thought, like Mitch did, this might be cool if I could catch regular Pokemon. Since the GameCube, I have wanted a on-console Pokemon game with a structured story like Colosseum, but in which I can catch my own Pokemon.
I haven't played these.
I haven't played it as a kid. I haven't played it since I was a kid, but I think a lot of the appeal for me was just getting to be a badass outlaw. I was 13 years old when it came out.
It is very
It's very
cool. Wes is a cool ass character. He's got his fucking motorcycle.
I want to play these games. I just feel like at this point they would be too difficult to enjoy.
I like XD.
I was gonna say XD is perfectly fine
but
to go
XD's a
back.
sequel, and I can't be a parasite.
It's not a direct sequel. It's
Yes,
not a
it
direct
is.
sequel.
It is absolutely a direct sequel.
No, it doesn't have any of the same characters in.
It is a sequel the same way that Gold and Silver are a sequel, honestly.
Yeah, sure.
You could play XD without playing, but XD you play as a nerd, and Colosseum you play as Wes.
XD's main character is such a fucking. He's so boring.
He's really.
He's just so lame.
Yeah, especially compared to Wes.
Wes as well. If you've not had a good look at his jacket looked like he skinned a Kyogre and is wearing a Kyogre.
It sure does.
It's so cool.
Did you guys know that in XD the original plan was for Wes to be the bad guy, like the main villain?
Nice.
Yeah, I just
would've
read
been.
that. Did you know gaming facts? While we were talking about it. Yeah.
I just looked it up in Japanese. Wes is called Leo, which I think is also a good name for that kind of character. It's good.
There are a lot of supplemental games for Gen 3, more than any other generation, right?
Sure feels like
I
it.
don't know about more, but there's a lot of them.
Was it Pokemon Bank or Pokemon Farm or something
Box.
as well?
That came with
Box.
Box.
Yeah.
Box was a special...
It came with XD, I think, or Colosseum, one of the two.
No.
It came.
It was from. I think it was from the Poke Center.
It came with a console bundle.
It also came with one of the games. I have it as like a dual box set with one of the games.
I also have not Bank, whatever it is, fucking Box.
Did you buy it with your GameCube?
I either bought it separately or it came with Colosseum, and I don't remember which.
I have both games and I don't have Box, so.
Must be yet more British privilege.
Well, in America at least, it was mail order. It was mail order only in America, or you could go to the Pokemon Center. So apparently only 10,000 of these copies were ever sold.
Damn, I remember one of my neighbors as a kid had it, and I didn't realize it was that rare.
It allowed you to put 1,500 Pokemon onto this storage system, even though there's only 381 Pokemon in the main game. But you get special Pokemon every time you reach a certain milestone. So if you put in 100 Pokemon, you get a Zigzagoon.
Oh, hell yeah!
It's worth pointing out it's extreme speed Zigzagoon.
Oh, okay.
That's where the whole thing started.
If you put in 500 Pokemon, you get a Skitty. If you put in 1,500 Pokemon, you get a Pichu that no surf.
Surf Pichu though. Oh.
There's also Pokemon Channel, which was a weird little... there wasn't much you could do in that game, I don't think, right?
It was Hey You Pikachu minus the mic.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
Slowpoke could tell the weather for you, which I always thought was fun.
I remember my neighbor had it, and I went over and I was just like, all right, but when do I get to play Pokemon though?
Yeah.
I rented it and played it like a couple days. It was nice little thing.
There's Pokemon Pinball.
Yeah.
Well,
Mystery
the new
Dungeon!
Pokemon Pinball.
Mystery
yeah,
Dungeon!
Mystery Dungeon.
Mystery fucking dungeon.
Yeah.
Classic.
Dungeon's kind of fun, although it goes on a bit, to be honest.
Oh, it's a portable game. It's grindy as hell.
It's Kingdom Hearts story. It's Kingdom Hearts style story.
Yeah.
It is very Kingdom
Oh,
Hearts.
It is fanficky in the best possible way for me.
It's very fun, very silly, very cute, beautiful looking games.
The Gen 3 like sprite style, especially like the overworld, that to me is like the Pokemon art style to me.
It is the biggest jump in. I think it's the best graphical jump and aesthetic jump that has gone in between generations.
Yeah.
I remember looking
Yes.
at
Yeah.
Pokemon magazines at the time and being absolutely blown away at reflections.
Reflections.
Yeah.
They have a
Yeah.
whole fucking NPC to say, look at my fucking reflection. Look at this. And it was good.
Footprints.
Oh,
should have
yes!
been that should have been the technology is amazing guy. He's just like, wow, technology is amazing. I can see myself in the pond.
Yeah, fucking little footprints in the sand and shit.
I'll be the first person to say that Hoenn has too much water, but it is delicious looking water.
Yummy.
Very delicious.
I think people just need to figure out how to like navigate things personally, but
If there weren't any Whalmer and Whale Lords, it would actually be a normal amount of water. It's just because the level has risen because of the content, the volume of
That's
animals in the
true.
sea.
oh no, are we Team Magma truthers?
Team Magma were right!
All right, so what's the verdict on Team Magma versus Aqua? Who's right?
I don't care.
They're both fucks. They're both fuckles.
Yeah, they're both ridiculous.
That's
Magma's
the point
right.
though.
Yeah.
Rayquaza knows what he's about, and he fucking stops both of them.
Knowing what we know now about the Earth, it's obvious that Team Aqua was right. So.
Yes. Also, Team Magma is a bunch of nerds, at least in the remakes, and Team Aqua are all sexy.
Is this Shelly again?
Shelly.
Yes.
Oh.
They're hot pirates, and hot pirates are hard to beat.
Exactly.
Horns? Can I get some horns?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the music.
I don't like it.
I love it.
No, I don't. It sucks. It sucks.
Oh, yes, it's good. What do you mean?
I love the root themes. They're so good.
It's fucking amazing. All of the music is excellent.
I can only remember the surf theme.
You're wrong.
It's definitely got a style, and I'll give it that. That's fine.
I just love it.
I love it too.
I like it, but I'm glad it didn't stay. Let's put it that way. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it again, but I'm glad that I experienced it.
I think I can agree with that.
Only because it's too good to be in any of those games that they're making now. Because then I wouldn't hear it, and all the new games are bad.
It's probably the most distinctive soundtrack for me.
Yeah.
I can recall like every song from it. My personal favorite, I think, is actually the Emerald Frontier Brain battle theme. That's probably my favorite battle theme in the series.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good one.
The music. It's got a lot of really good battle themes. The Frontier Battle, and I especially like the Reggie's theme, actually. It's
Yes!
really cool.
Yeah.
The desert music as well. But the GBA sound card just sucks.
No, it is.
No!
Yeah.
It sounds good because it's a GBA sound card. It sounds fucking amazing. I love it.
It's
I like
canned. It's really like, it sounds like inside a can.
It's
I don't want
great.
to say it's bad.
It sounds silly and fun.
POV, we passed out at the Hoenn music concert and we're laying on the ground still listening to the music in between consciousness.
It'd be POE because it's point of ear.
Speaking of Frontier Brain, Battle Frontier was a cool thing this game did. Emerald specifically.
I am so annoyed that they never brought it back. because those Frontier brains were so fucking cool.
They're still building it. It's under construction.
Yeah, what do you mean? It's coming back in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. They're making it.
Remember when the remakes came out and people got to that part and they're like, oh yeah,
Oh, it's gonna be
like,
DLC.
Yeah, maybe it's like time limited.
It wasn't.
Wasn't this the origin of please understand it's difficult to make the game? That was in order to explain why there wasn't a Battle Frontier?
No, but
Sad.
they said they didn't put it in because they were afraid that it would be too hard for kids.
No,
right?
they didn't put it in because they were like, people have mobile games to play.
Yeah.
They don't want to play
Yeah.
the Battle
Came up with
Frontier.
BS.
Game Freak is deathly afraid of fucking mobile phones.
I never played Emerald, therefore I have no feelings about the Battle Frontier.
Oh, I played so much of it.
I'm sorry to hear that. It
I
was
know.
so good.
I hear that Emerald was just a lot better, but I never played it.
Getting all 7 of the gold Frontier things was like my greatest achievement as a kid.
Doesn't it start cheating towards the end? Is that what I'm
Yes.
thinking of, where it just starts to actually fucking cheat at the end?
There's some real cheating near the end, but I overcame it because I know how to play video games, so...
Like, doesn't it get towards the end of the game where it just like it starts pulling out the one-hit kill moves and it never misses with them or something? Like,
Well, no, I can't.
I don't know if it actually
doesn't do
breaks
that.
the rules, but I think it just throws out bullshit at you.
I thought that I'd seen something that said it did actually break the rules from time to time.
No, the game never does that. Like, there's no code for that. Pie Queen Lucy is probably my favorite design of the whole series as well.
Let's have a
She
look.
awoke something
that's
in me.
That's a local file. I can't access your PC.
Oh,
Well done.
Oh, let me hack in real quick.
hang on.
Hacker voice, I'm in.
This is awkward. Let's try
Just
that.
put that in a web address browser. It works.
Damn.
Smash.
I think this is probably my
Yeah,
first
she's-
case of Yes Queen.
She's
Yes
good.
Queen.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good design.
And she's in the battle pike shaped like a Seviper, and she has a Seviper. Oh my
Yeah, I can
God.
see that she has a survivor. Like that makes
On the
sense.
battle pike is shaped like a Seviper. You go
That's what I
inside.
just said.
Love survivor.
I
Excellent.
think that she
Pokemon.
has a Seviper.
I said she lives in a Seviper with a Seviper.
Oh, lives in a Seviper. Okay, yeah.
Excellent art, like it.
I think I spent the most time in the pyramid. I remember really liking the
it's-
battle pyramid.
So like all 7 places had different gimmicks. So there was just your basic battle tower. That is what it is. The battle pike was based on like luck, and you would like pick routes, and depending on where you went down, you'd get paralyzed, you get fully healed, fight a trainer, etc. The pyramid was all exploration. The arena was like. The arena was weird. There were judges, and after like 3 turns, you get judged based on your performance. Factory
Yes,
was
I
just
remember that
rental.
one.
The factory was just rentals. The dome was a tournament, and then the battle palace was
Ugh.
the devil's greatest creation ever because you could not pick what your Pokemon did. They picked themselves based on their natures. So
Nice.
natures did matter.
Oh
Nice.
my god, that sounds great.
Say you had like a timid Pokemon, it'd be more inclined to using like status moves as opposed to attacking
Oh my
moves.
god.
That's cute. Like that.
That sounds so funny.
That I'm never doing that run again. I'm never doing the Battle Palace again.
You're making me want to do it because I never did this.
You go, oh, by all means, go for it. I'm never doing it again.
You could re-battle gym leaders in Emerald as well after you beat the game, right?
Yes, because you had that little, you had your little what is it called?
Togenav.
Pokenav, and you could like call them and be like, "Hey, Brawly, what's up, bro?" And he'd be like, "Yo, just lifting. Bye, click."
Did they have expanded like Pokemon sets or level up or anything after?
Yes, they would get like National Dex Pokemon.
Nice. Because I think that's something that happened in Platinum as well, if I remember right. It might be Platinum or it might have been the Heart Gold and Soul Silvers.
Both of them, I
And
think,
those,
had
in both of those, they had like
rematches.
special. Yeah, they had rematches in those.
It really just feels like a Emerald, especially. It's like the complete package. I
Yeah.
feel
It
like.
is. I spent so much time on that game.
Me too.
I think of all the Pokemon games, I have the most hours in this generation.
Yeah, same.
Probably pound for pound, me too.
We haven't talked about your rival.
There
Was
is.
this
There's
a
a
Wally?
talk
Was this Wally?
So no, you got 2
Oh, no,
rivals
Wally's
in this.
cool.
Oh, you know,
Yeah,
Is it
you,
two?
you got 2.
You got 2 half rivals that together probably make 1.
got your next door neighbor who's like, oh, I'm surprised that you're a girl. Bitch.
Can't relate.
Brendan.
Can't believe the child of a gym leader isn't a man. Fuck off. He's a prick.
Well, I picked a boy, and he was surprised. She was surprised I was a boy.
And you've got a little sick Wally.
Oh, wasn't his name Brendan? That's so weird.
Wow,
It's
interesting.
weird, isn't it?
Good thing it's not my name.
The Pyramid King was Brandon, though, so
Yeah.
lucky you.
I re-listened to the Gen 2 episode today, and I was very harsh on all the rivals after Gen 2, because they're not assholes. I like the asshole rivals the best.
Yes, they're the best.
Gary and Silver. But, looking back at it, I'm pretty fond of Wally. I think he has a good story.
I think Wally's good.
I actually don't like Wally at all.
I think it's sweet that Wally exists, and I'm glad that he's doing better. But also, I want to have a reason to fight, and I can't, in any good faith, fight Wally.
Oh, I can.
No, you're helping him to get stronger. You're curing his leukemia by beating him at Pokemon.
I just keep beating the shit out of him.
I thought, wasn't his story arc you just beat the shit out of him until it's like, oh, maybe fighting's not for me.
So here's the thing. You meet Wally, you help him catch the Ralts. You see him again, like 3 badges down the line, he has 1 Pokemon, and then you see him again at the Victory Road, and that's like it. That's it.
That's not enough, really.
It could have used another fight somewhere.
You get to talk to his family and Russ Turf or whatever it's called, and they talk about
Oh yeah.
his aspirations to be a trainer.
And his name starts showing up outside of the gyms before you. So you're like, oh, this gym was already cleared by Wally.
Does the Wally one happen? I don't remember that one.
Yeah, that does happen with Wally. Yeah.
Even if you beat him at the end, he makes it to Victory Road. Like,
I'm glad he comes out of his shell. I just wish he had
Wish he
a
was doing just
personality
fine.
more than a fucking limp.
He's only just learned to go outside. You can't expect the world of him.
That's true.
Oh, so I can't expect the world of him, but he can beat all the gyms before me, which means he had to travel everywhere before me. Which is it? Is he like bad at this, or is he good at this?
Both.
There were a lot of fights you had with your other rival who doesn't even fully evolve their starter in the original version.
In the final fight in Lily Cove, they saw the mid form of the starter.
You beat them the last time, and they straight up go, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to researching. This sucks. Bye."
May and or Brendan suck. They basically have no story.
There's one encounter which is the worst. Oh, it pissed me off so bad when I first played, and it's on the long bridge on the way. Is it on the way to Morville?
Marvel, yeah.
Where you can't avoid him, and you've been on a route for like 30 minutes, and he's just like, "Hey, fresh, I'm great. Let's fight. I've got 1.5 Pokemon left. I'm bleeding out, and he wants to fight me." Oh God. I hate Brendan so much, and I'm
Goody.
glad that he's dead because I killed him.
Then
He's like, "I'm gonna go back to researching," and Shiny's like, "Not on my watch."
you're gonna catch this bullet.
I'm gonna research the afterlife.
I feel like there are 2 rivals because maybe at one point they were playing around with like having a rival for like contests and other stuff. Like, it feels like neither of them are actually any good.
But neither of them do contests, so.
But neither
what's
of them
the
do
point?
contests either. But like what I'm saying is like they rode back on it at the last minute.
I think you guys are putting too much weight on contests. I think they seem like a complete afterthought to me.
Maybe.
I never thought they were like this intentional. I just wish they were.
Favorite gym leader, go.
Flannery's pretty good.
Norman.
What was the electric one?
Watson, he is the best. Love Watson.
Watson's a good lad.
Flannery.
I think my pick here might be Wallace.
Oh yeah.
I also like Juan too, but I really like Wallace. I love Wallace's expanded role in Emerald.
Which one do you like?
I hate that they made him champion though. Steven was such a good champion. I don't know why they changed it to Wallace.
And Wallace was a weird choice because then it just meant you fight 2 water like big trainers. And so you're just like, alright, well I just do the same thing I did the last time. Cool, bye.
I'm having a hard time choosing.
I think I like Winona.
I really like the fact that you actually have a dad in this game, and
I do like the dad, but Watson is the best. He's the weird uncle.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
he's got a
He
great
is a
face.
weird uncle.
He looks like a Wynot. Like, it's fucking.
I love
He
his
cannot-
sprite, his fucking jovial, like him laughing. Your
He
hands
can be
in the
kind of a
pockets.
wall as well if you don't have the right team.
He's
Even though
hard, yeah. And especially in Emeralds, where he's a Manectric. And a magneton,
Oh.
I think.
That sucked.
Yeah.
The only thing I have to say about Roxanne is that one time I met somebody whose name was Rock Sand, like Rocksand.
Oh my god.
Like dead ass.
That's wild.
I think I've got to say Flannery. Thinking about this, I've got to say Flannery.
Brawly's also hard. The early
Yeah.
game of Gen 3 is hard.
Yeah, third gym kicked my ass for ages.
Unless you got a marsh tomp.
I like Winona's birds. Like
I
it's a
don't think I
good
did.
mix of birds. Like,
I think Winona's design is great.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
Winona
you hate
Flyder.
birds, so it's understandable.
Have y'all seen Wallace's outfit in the Gen 6 remakes?
No.
It's
Didn't they turn him into a man slut, if I remember correctly?
He's like...
Nice.
Oh no.
They were like, we need to make it very clear this man is gay.
Oh my
Oh, they
god.
sure fucking
Oh
did.
my god.
And they really did it.
Look at that, it's great.
In case you were wondering.
Could this be the enemy stand user?
He even poses
No, he
like...
just likes a chick.
Oh, I love him. I love Wallace.
He's got no undies on.
No,
He
Yeah.
really doesn't.
He's flamboyant.
You
is
can
what
see
he
his
is.
vagina bones.
You know what bothers me about this design, though, actually, is that...
No, he doesn't.
There's a mankini underneath there somewhere, I swear.
That is the
I thought
mankini.
Nintendo took them
What
out.
bothers me about this design a little bit, though, is it kind of looks more like a flying design. Like, it almost looks like
Yeah,
Winona. But, boy, is it stupid, and I love it.
It rules.
It's good.
It's so good.
I really like a lot of the, especially the redesigns to Archie and Maxie in the remakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on Archie.
Why did they change Wallace to Juan for Emerald?
Because Wallace became the champ.
Wallace became the champion, Steven became a bonus boss for some reason, but it's not like time passed, so it doesn't really make any sense.
It's very strange.
It's one of the weirdest decisions.
Is Steven your dad?
No,
No,
your dad.
no,
is.
Norman's
No,
your dad.
Norman.
I
Do you
didn't
know
finish.
why?
I never. No, I didn't finish Gen 3. The furthest I've got is I didn't even finish the 4th gym. I don't think.
No, the fifth gym leader is your dad.
How strong was that Marmite?
What Pokemon has Flannery got?
Fire. She's
Torkoal.
got a
Torkoal.
Torkoal and a
Is she
Numel?
on an island, a little island after you take a boat trip?
No.
No specs.
Nope.
She's in Laveridge. She's
Holy
she's at
shit.
the bottom of the.
What is he doing here? What is he doing here?
You're thinking about I think you're thinking about Gen 3, like the Gen 1 remakes. Because
No.
that's where you take a boat to some islands.
In Gen 3, after Watson, you take a little boat. Right?
Oh, you're thinking of Doofer, the second.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, you are right. Yeah,
Mr.
okay.
Briny.
Dewford's much earlier than that.
Yes, but there's an island that you go to by boat that a guy
Oh,
takes
yeah.
you.
I thought there was a gym there.
There is a gym. It's
There's
yeah.
a fighting
Yeah, there's
sim.
a
Second one.
gym in Dewford. That's the second one. So you go from like just outside the forest
I thought that
south
was a
to
psychic
Dewford.
gym.
Holy shit.
No,
Let's
the
not
psychic
do
one.
this.
Psychic one. The
Wait,
psychic.
so Norman. Yeah,
Wait,
Norman's your
my-
dad. The
Who's
psychic
Norman,
one.
Who's the,
The
who's
psychic.
the champion
normal
in
type
Pokemon Emerald
Norman.
again?
Yes, the psychic one is Moss Deep, and that's the twins.
But I haven't been there.
Okay.
Okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed.
Okay, so Norman's my dad. What does Norman say when I beat him?
Well done, child.
He says, "I'm Dad Norman."
he says I'm officially replacing you with Wally. Get out of my house.
Also, one of my Pokemon just doesn't take a turn half the time, and I can still win sometimes.
And it might still kick your ass, yeah.
And it might still kick
Yeah,
you.
those Slackings.
Love
It's
slacking.
2 Slackings in Ruby Sapphire.
Oh my god, what a lad.
God, fucking in Ruby Sapphire, the psychic gym leaders just have a Soul Rock and
Yep,
Leviathan,
that's
and
it.
that's it.
It's just you get your double battle. That's it.
One surf and that's it.
I think if the game had to do like a double battle where they had more than 2 Pokemon, it would just explode. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
it didn't know
Yeah.
what to do.
Children can't
They did
count
that in
past 2,
Emeralds.
so
Yeah, but Emerald was upgraded because it had an extra battery in it.
Oh yeah, that's right. They had the battery. It drained it instantly
It had
as soon as you
2
got that
batteries.
battle.
Yeah, that's why there was 2 double battles. That's why double battles were introduced
Ah.
to Emerald.
Makes
Because
sense.
Emerald cartridges had 2 batteries in them, and that's why it cost double.
Oh, thanks, Professor Morningwood.
Hold on. If Norman's my dad, who's my mum?
your mum.
Dad Norman.
Mom.
Normina.
Nor woman.
No woman. Damn. Fuck.
No woman, no cry. This is getting really stupid.
You know what they say, no woman, no cry.
No women, no.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my goodness.
That was a
Fucking
good
normies.
one. That was a good
Fucking
one.
normies. I like the Elite Four and Gen 3, they're very good.
I don't.
You don't like them? I like them. I like them a lot.
Alright, let's see. I like Sydney in the remakes. I don't like him. I don't like any of them in the original.
You
They
go
all
to
look better in the remake.
Australia in these games?
Oh my god.
I get it. They did the thing again where there's an ice type gym leader, Elite Four member, but there's only 2 ice types in the game.
Yeah, but she's got big tits.
Yeah, so she gets a pass.
Yeah.
She does have a wall rain as well, which is excellent.
That thing crushed me as a kid.
There's what, like a wall rain, 2 Celio, and 2 Glalie.
Are her two big tits the Glalies?
Yes.
Yes.
Spiky tits.
Spits.
Dribbling spits, that's what I call my tits.
As Elite Four members go, they're alright.
I think I like Phoebe because I like the kind of fucking counterpoint between her being a fucking cute little kid and then having ghost type.
Kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think she's a child, though.
Yeah, but she looks like one.
Mitch is in trouble. Mitch is in
What am
trouble.
I in trouble for? She's the one who says this girl in a bikini looks like a child.
What?
Hold on, I'm googling her age.
I like the escalation for the Elite Four here, and I like the champion, at least in Ruby and Sapphire. I don't know about Emerald and how that works, but like Steven is a good champion. He's got a really fucking good team.
Oh my god. Phoebe is the only Elite Four member not to have a water type in this. Oh, in Pokemon Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire. So all of the other ones in Ruby and Sapphire have a water type regardless of what fucking type they actually are. That's so funny.
So, according to some Pokemon fan site, Phoebe is at least 20 years old, but I don't know where which ass they pulled that out of.
Hers.
But they also say that her name might be based on the word phobia.
Ooh,
makes sense.
Clever.
Like that.
Okay, so I have a question. So we're all around the same age, you know, we're orbiting 30. We were school kids when this came out, right?
Bran isn't.
Bran's 12.
Don't make assumptions about Moogle.
Were these the games where Pokemon stopped being cool at your school?
Yeah.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Right.
I was just talking with Brand about this, I think yesterday or the day before. This is when I started getting bullied hard for these games.
Yeah, same. The discourse on the playground went very quickly from like, hey, can you help me evolve my Machoke? To, oh, you still play Pokemon? What a fucking baby. Like, so quickly.
I know, it was insane. I was telling Bran also the story of how somebody, like I was talking to somebody and he like told me how to get a Shedinja. So I like do it and then I tell him later, but he's like around his friends, so he pretends to like not know what I'm talking about, making me out to be a fucking idiot.
Wow.
And I was like, oh,
Wow.
and that was the first time I got gaslit. And I learned from it and now I do
You.
it.
Well, what was the
Wait,
what was the difference?
wait.
Specs is going to say something stupid. Everyone listen.
Gaslit? Ghastly? Coincidence?
Anyway, so what I was saying, what was the difference in time between Gen 2 and Gen 3?
2
Couple of
years?
years.
Can't have been that long.
It was loads of years.
Gen 3 came out in 2003 in the West. Gen 2 must have been like 2000.
That's 3 years. That's a long. Kids grow up a lot in 3 years, right, Shiny?
Why are you asking me?
I just thought you'd know. I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and you just act really weird.
I don't fucking know. I know as much as anyone else here would.
Right. Okay, I understand you.
I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, it was 2000.
Crystal was 2000 and Ruby and Sapphire were 2002
No, that's in Japan.
in Japan.
Okay, well, are we all Japanese kids here?
2001 in US and Europe for Crystal. 2003 for Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah, and Gold and Silver came out in 2000.
I don't remember having the same experience as you guys, but also I have never been bullied in my life, so I guess that.
Oh, Shiny was the bully. Got it.
To be honest,
I just stopped caring at this point. I didn't get Gen 3. I didn't care about Pokemon at this point.
I mean I did, but I don't think I ever spoke to like my friends about Pokemon anyway. Like I just played it and enjoyed it, and I didn't like have a social thing surrounding it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't either. I mean, I didn't have a ton of friends who played Pokemon other than like my cousins. But I still played them. But Gen 3 was still pretty in when I was a kid. It was when I got Pearl when I started to get like harassed for it, and that's when I basically stopped playing because of all the bullying.
What the fuck is this conversation? I don't want to know about this. It's a huge commitment to go from Gen 3 to Gen 4, though, because you got to buy a whole new system. You could get away with
You had to buy a whole
Gen...
new system from Gen 2 to Gen 3.
Yeah.
No. You could get away with playing Gen 2 on a Game Boy Advance.
What?
No, but you couldn't get away with playing Gen 3 on a Game Boy Color.
You can play Gen 3 on a DS.
No, but that's expensive. A DS is more expensive than a Game Boy
A
Advance.
Game Boy Advance would have been as expensive at least
This isn't
as a
holding
Game
together.
Boy Color.
No.
What is happening?
Guys, I got bullied in school, though. Stop picking on me.
Mitch is just trying to find any way to not talk about being bullied.
I've never been bullied in my life. I'm like Shiny. You see, we're similar. See?
I will say in hindsight, it's pretty funny how the people who like would do that also like still play the game. So I don't know. It must have just been like kids being awkward and trying to like fit in and seem cool, and because we liked it as kids, and now we're like sort of almost teenagers, that it's not cool anymore, so we can't like it in public thing.
Yeah, I mean, I remember. I mean, I stopped playing the games, but I remember like not wanting to stop. I mean, I know some kids just like thought it was uncool. I just didn't. I don't know how to put this. I just stopped because people were giving me shit for it, and I was like, all right, fine, you win.
I kept going.
Yeah, me too. I'm
And
not
then,
a coward.
and then around Gen 5, it became cool again, so I win.
That was me for Gen 6.
Oh, those games sucked though.
Yeah, they did. They did.
I came back around for Platinum, but I skipped Gen 3 proper, but I played Colosseum because those were the badass Gen 3 games.
Yeah.
Cool, edgy
Yeah.
kids like me.
Especially Coliseum. I feel that game was very deliberately made to be able to capture that audience.
Yeah, bro.
And then they undid it all with XD.
3. Who's your favorite Gen 3 Pokemon? Go.
On 3, everyone on 3. 5, 4, 3.
Banana.
Sharpedo.
Let me look here. Mawile, I guess. I don't know. They're all kind of shit.
Moana is a Disney film. That's not a Pokemon.
In a Mawile, Crocolore.
In a Mawile for alligator.
Throughout all the episodes that we did, have you changed your opinion on any of the Pokemon? Are you a fan of a Pokemon now that you weren't a fan before? Has it come to your attention?
I think I like Exploud more now than I used to.
Exploud was on my OG team.
No, I feel like I'm pretty solidified in my opinions on this whole generation.
Yeah, same.
Well, I like Grumpig a whole lot more now.
Shut the fuck up, no!
I fucking love Grumpig, dude.
Finally, someone's on the right side of history.
Boopig.
Boopig.
Ah!
Grumpig is this season's version of Standler.
I honestly can't remember most of the stuff we talked about. I like that Crawdaunt is American as fuck.
Yeah.
I really
Oh,
liked
yeah.
learning about how it was like a big fuck you to Americans polluting Japanese waters
Yeah.
with American
Yeah.
crawfish.
Then we dug up those forums on, I don't remember what, was it on Bubble Forum?
Yeah, it was on
Bulbapedia?
Bulbapedia. There were like edit wars to say, no, this isn't about Americans. Actually, yes, I'm Japanese and this is about Americans.
Love it.
I like that we found out that Love Disc is going to evolve soon.
No.
It will always be evolving.
I cannot wait for that time bomb to finally go off in like 3 years.
3.
Well, and there's a mid-stage evolution that joins the two together.
I can't wait to start the Aloma Mole episode and we just hear Shiny screaming. Shorty,
No, not even on the episode. You can just hear me
we're just gonna
screaming.
hear her screaming.
Ugh.
What's your most defining feature of Gen 3? What's your biggest memory from childhood?
Graphics.
I mean, getting all 7 frontier symbols.
Just the whole thing.
I remember me and my cousins were trying to complete our national decks, and we were really close, but we couldn't, for the life of us, figure out how to evolve Feebas. We knew it was Beauty, but we kept feeding them Pokeblocks and it wouldn't evolve, and I think it's because we didn't realize you then had to level it up when it was at max beauty. So we're just like shoving at Pokeblocks. Why won't you evolve?
I'm so full, please stop.
I only had beautiful Feebas, so.
I played Gen 3 on emulator before it came out for realsies, like in the West. And
Nintendo, please, no ninjas.
I know. So I guess my lasting memory is probably playing it in Japanese and having absolutely no Japanese knowledge whatsoever. But just learning what different moves were likely to be based on like what they did when you used them. Like very fun time doing that with friends.
Oh
But other than
yeah.
that-
Yeah, before Emerald came out here, my friend brought back a badly translated bootleg from like Thailand.
Beautiful.
That's so cool.
Nice.
Yes. And like halfway into the game, it just stopped being translated, and it was all in Japanese.
Nice.
Only the first part of it was in English. So ramshackle.
I owned every Gen 3 game. I have no idea where they are now. I'm usually pretty good at looking after my stuff. I can still find lots of childhood games and toys or whatever, because I don't throw any of them away. I have absolutely no idea where my Gen 3 games are. I know where my Gen 2 games are. I have no idea where my Gen 3 games are. My defining...
I have all of mine.
Good job. My defining memory is that every so often, my Gen 3 games, my Ruby, my Fire Red, they'd go missing every couple months. I fucking find them in my sister's room with all my data erased, and that's why I
No.
don't
Oh my
remorse
God.
when I blamed her for shitting in the bathtub that one time.
Disgusting.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, so the bullying conversation wasn't okay, but that was interesting.
He's allowed to bully himself, okay?
So we didn't actually talk about the Gen 1 remakes, like...
Oh yeah, we didn't at all.
Yeah, why don't we?
They were cute. I liked them.
Stubby Islands were cool.
Yeah, they were cute.
I like the previously on feature.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that was really
Oh
good.
yeah,
actually.
previously on was cool.
That was
man.
so
Yeah, I
helpful.
remember that.
Yeah.
I'd rather play them than actual Gen 1.
Yes,
Even as someone
definitely.
who enjoys Gen 1, I would still rather play the Gen 3
Yeah,
remakes.
they're just better to play at this point in time. Like they're easier to play. They're more enjoyable to play in every capacity than the originals. Like you can still look back at the originals and be like, that was a great game, but it's just easier to play Fire Red Leaf Green.
And they also made some cool, like, the Stubby Islands were a cool thing they did. I hated how you couldn't evolve, like, stuff like Golbat.
But
yeah,
Golbat.
that's
Pokemon.
That was really stupid.
Yeah, that sucks.
Did they block off Gen 2 Pokemon from the Gen 1 remakes? That's weird.
Until you get the National Pokédex in post game.
Oh yeah.
But it would try to, right? Your Golbat would, like, try to evolve.
It would do.
and
Oh my god, it would be awful because every time your Golbat would level up, it tried to, but then not. So, hope you found the Everstone.
Awful fucking decisions. This is the Game Freak way. Every good decision comes with like 3 really bad ones in the background.
I feel like not in. I feel as I don't know, in Gen 3 the decisions were on the whole pretty good. It's more of a for every couple of good decisions there's a bad one lurking around.
1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's how we do the Poke rap.
Other than that, Gen 3, the Gen 1 remake's pretty good.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're good.
They're just Gen 1, but better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all there is to say.
The wireless fucking thing for the GBA was cool. Like that.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh, the
never
wireless
used
link
it.
cable.
Didn't a Game Boy Color have native IR wireless
It
anyway
did,
though?
but it wasn't.
Yes,
it
it
wasn't
did.
Did they
good
ever
enough
use
for
it?
trading because it was unreliable, so they did not use it.
Used
for
it for
trading.
some weird stuff.
Mystery gift. Mystery
Yeah.
gift.
You could use the Eon ticket, Eon e-reader.
Oh yeah, you
I
could.
had that. I had the e-reader somewhere, and I had the Eon ticket.
Nice.
And also, I don't think
What did it do?
it allowed you to cast Latios or Latios, depending on your version, if you couldn't get the one on the other.
Lettuce?
But there were also special Pokemon cards that had e-reader functionality, but I don't think any of them were released in the West. But they
Yeah.
do still have that e-reader symbol on some of the cards, but they don't have the little data strips
Yes.
on them.
I remember this.
I don't
yeah.
know what they did. I don't think.
So you could use them for mini games in Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Emerald, and you could also use them to like battle special trainers, but only in the Japanese versions of the games.
Yes, that's right.
That's pretty much it.
Oh, that
Thanks,
was the
Japan.
thing. Like the winners of the Pokemon Championship in Japan, they got their teams on a e-reader card, and you could scan that card.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Japan also got a cool Mew event that we never got, where you go to an island and like track down Mew.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's under the truck.
Yeah.
It's
And
under
you
the
can
truck.
catch it when you can't in the fucking... Yeah, okay.
Did any of you ever find Mirage Island?
No,
I don't find
No.
dick, mate.
it'll stay in Mirage forever.
I remember checking every day for it.
Hold on, hold on.
I didn't even know it was on it.
I
just
think
knew,
I
like,
did.
It turned out
What
to
was
be fucking
Mirage
Why
Island?
Not,
Mirage
right?
Island, the one with Wynot? Yes,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
found it. I did.
You found it? Oh,
Yeah.
that's sick.
But I didn't realise how rare it was to do, so I was like, oh, I'll just go back another time.
Oh my god.
Nice. It's like finding Feebas and going, oh, I can get this later.
Anyway, that's the generation.
Oh,
Sure is.
Yeah.
what's the conditions for Mirage Island appearing?
It's just like a really rare chance.
Let me see.
Every day you check like the
Two random bites.
According to Bulbapedia, 2 random bytes, the Mirage Island value, are generated for the day once any button is pressed on the start menu, and will be used until the start menu is accessed again past midnight of the day. So you press a button on the start menu, and then if a number was generated, Mirage Island would appear for that day. Apparently, I think, from what I'm gathering.
you know the odds on it.
It's a value
1 in 65,000.
That's better
Oh
than
wait, but
shiny,
it's based,
right?
it's
No,
based
that's much
on
harder than shiny.
Oh.
yeah. Well, shiny's 1 in 8,000. But if you have a lot of Pokemon from other people, your chances get better. So it checks all the Pokemon that you have and checks their trainer IDs, and if you have one with a trainer ID that matches the Mirage Island value, then you get it. Oh, actually, specifically your party, I think. So you can have like 6 rolls at it essentially at any given time. But yeah, I would check every day, and me and my cousins had no idea what was on it, but we're like, oh, it must be really cool, and it just turned out to be a thing full of why not.
Well, that's fine.
Which is cool.
Love why not.
I'm probably just bitter because I never found it.
And it has the only lychee berry in the game.
Ooh.
It's the best berry for Pokeblocks.
So who's ready to move on to Gen 4?
Yeah.
Here we go, we're walking off again. We might have to get on a boat this time, though.
Should we talk about Diamond and Pearl?
We'll save that for next time. Anybody hear the
Professor
sirens?
Rowan asks you, are you a boy or a girl?
I should have the starters done some.
opera app and things. The people who change is. Did someone just hit a bong?
It sounds
Yeah,
like MD's hitting a bong very
MD is
frequently.
hitting the
I
bong,
promise
yeah.
you, I'm like not doing anything.
What are you doing?
You're
you
lying.
Are definitely
You are
doing
you are
something.
transmitting.
You're
That was
wrestling
definitely
with
the sound of a
potato
dry pipe.
crisps.
Nah, like, I'm
You're
just sit- I-
hitting bongs.
I'm gonna stitch together all the MD noises into a separate cut.
Okay,